What's going on, boys? Back at the works with the biscuits. Say hi to Jeff. Anyway, we got a little progress here on the C-47 Skytrain, also known as a DC-3. When the British had it during World War II, it was called a Dakota. And that was an acronym for the Douglas Aircraft Company Transport Aircraft, Dakota. 2,000 of them were sent over for Lend-Lease. Any of you guys know what that was? That was before America got into World War II. Before we got bombed by Japan, we were lending and leasing military equipment to the British. It was called Lend-Lease. And we exchanged military equipment for, I believe it was military bases around the world on British soil, I believe. I could be wrong. But shortly after Pearl Harbor, the C-47 was put into service for cargo transport. And it shipped everything from men, paratroopers, to mules. Pappy's dad flew the hump. A hump was the eastern end of the Himalayas between India and China. During World War II, China was an ally. And they would load C-47s with equipment and mules, and because of the terrain, vehicles were not good until a couple of roads were put in. There was what was called the Burma Road, but the Japanese had blocked that. So we started to build what's called the Ledo Road, L-E-D-O, which they also called the Stilwell Highway, I believe, for General Stilwell, who was in charge of the Air Force at the time, or the Army Air Force. There was no Air Force. It was the Army Air Corps at the time. Pappy's dad flew in one of these. I'm not positive. I do not believe he flew it. He was a staff sergeant, and I believe that only captains and lieutenants could fly. So I am taking it that he was in one of these as a crew member. So, like I said, this is a plane that will be dedicated to him. I got some information from Pappy. You'll see what I'm gonna do. As far as the plane goes, a little bit more information on it. These also were, they used the C-47 to pull the gliders over at D-Day there when all the paratroopers were brought in behind enemy lines just before D-Day. They all jumped out of gliders that were towed by C-47s. Over 50,000 troops. They were also used, like I said, extensively. The hump in Burma and China. They were used in the South Pacific, all for cargo. All for cargo. Matter of fact, DC-3s are still being flown today, over 80 years after they first came about. 1935, I think, is the first year the DC-3 came out. And when the military converted it, they made it a little bit shorter and stuff so they could put grappling hooks on the back to tow the gliders. And they upped the engines a little bit more to give them some more power. But they were used extensively. They were used during the Berlin airlift. At the end of the war, when the Soviets were starting to shut down the Iron Curtain, These planes were used to drop supplies in behind the line. Like I said, you can still see them now. They are all over the world. From what I've been looking, DC-3s are everywhere. Canada uses them for rescue, search and rescue. You can see them flying. They still fly up in Alaska. They're just everywhere. And it's a testament to the technology of the plane that it's still in the air. So, with that being said, I'll talk real quick here. I've got a few more minutes. I got the interior done. I just got to put the instrument panel on. But this is painted. This color is called green zinc chromate. Green zinc chromate. They also had a yellow zinc chromate. And why it's called that is because this paint actually had zinc chromate in it. And what that does is prohibit or retard mold growth. So that's why they were painted this color. They stopped the mold from growing, because you got to figure a lot of these planes are up where it's cold, and when you come down into the warm, you get condensation. So everybody knows what happens when you get water and you just leave water there. Mold starts growing. So that's why they were painted this color, and that's why this stuff was put in the paint to do that. So once I get this decal on, I can button it up. We'll never see the inside again. I can button it up and I can start putting it together. I got some, I've been having some fit issues with these wings here, and these wings go on that bottom piece. Oh, I had to do some work and all that on there, and I got my, I made my stand. Made my stand here, and took my bottom piece. I have epoxied a nut there that corresponds with the screw that I put on the top here. So if you hang on, I'll show you what it'll look like. So there we are, fellas. That's what it'll look like once I got that. Once I get it all together, I'll make a nice little base for it. I got some information I want to put down there, so. But that's where I am. Like I said, I got it all painted. I got the interior painted and stuff now, so here's the other half. So I can button it up, get it together and button it up. I haven't been able to do too much work. I've been concentrating on getting the water damage that we had up in our bedroom fixed. I almost got that all done. I fixed the wall and everything Saturday, painted it yesterday. I just got done. Well, the wife bleached the ceiling and cleaned that up, and then I was just up there and I put a couple of coats of Kills on it. I'll let that dry good, and then tomorrow I will paint it, and we should be all set back to normal. But there it is. When I get more progress, I'll do another video. Thank you to the latest shop card. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So, there we go. Other biscuits. Water's a little high today. We had a lot of rain yesterday. Poured yesterday. But, yeah, a couple of days. If we don't get any more rain, it'll be right down again. It's cold and raw out there today, boys. Cold and raw. All right? You gonna say goodbye to Jeff? Huh? You wanna say goodbye to Jeff? Go ahead, give him some cat ass. There you go. Atta girl. All right, boys. Remember, you can't fail if you don't try. Peace out.